Hello guys, and welcome to the David Zimaleta. In today's video, I want to talk about my channel and what we do here. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's been subscribing to my channel lately. There's really been lots of people, like sometimes it's 20 per day, 30 or 40, and I think I got like 100 subscribers within the past like 2 days, which is really crazy. But anyways guys, let's begin. First of all, welcome to the largest sprinter resource of information on YouTube. I haven't checked, but my audience has been basically telling me just that. And I do basically work on a lot of sprinters. I own 8 of them myself. I have 7 T1Ns and we have one 2012 sprinter. There's just so much that I'm doing, so much that I'm into, and I'm very ambitious. But sprinters alone don't define me, but I'll get back to that. Firstly, I'm really sorry that I haven't been posting every day. Not that I made any promises, but last year I pretty much posted every single day consistently, and that was kind of my goal, to post every day consistently. But since I've been kind of changing up a little bit of things on my channel, I was not actually able to post every day, and that's because I tried to focus on just mechanical or the sprinter stuff. And then, you know what happens? Rain happens. And rain basically kicks me out, and it does not allow me to basically produce sprinter content for obvious reasons. Sometimes it rains for 4 or 5 days straight. I cannot do anything. And now, of course, we got a new baby, so I can't really do a lot of videos at home. Got my studio back again, but we have a leaky roof here that I gotta fix, even though I fixed it last year. But the problem is back. But anyways, guys, I'm a content creator. I enjoy creating content, and I enjoy sharing information with viewers like you. I just really enjoy talking to people and just sharing ideas and talking about interesting stuff. And for the most part, I could see there's many of you guys, you're just like me. You're basically doing the same thing. I do want to say this one thing. Recently I made a video, and this might have confused some people. I know probably confused one of my best friends. He called me up, but really didn't say he was confused, but he was probably a little bit confused, because I sort of talk about how I am a millionaire, but really I am not. I'm not a millionaire, and I am basically just like everybody else, but I think big and I dream big. What I was getting at there, I'm asset rich, cash poor, but not so much, not really, because I still buy a lot of stuff. But I'm nowhere like a millionaire at all. However, to some of you guys that are new, and please don't take this as a way of, me to brag, because that's the last thing I want to do, because I'm a very hardworking person, and I just really enjoy just achieving stuff and motivating others to do the same. But in 2013, guys, I was like super broke, man. I was barely paying my bills. I was living in an apartment. And even though I was expediting, man, sometimes we had good days and like sometimes we had bad ones. And when you look at a picture as a whole, you have one strong week that you're working good and you're making good money. Another one, that's bad. And then you take all that money and you fill up, your diesel and stuff like that, and you pay all your expenses. Before you know it, the check is going to come on the 3rd week or whatever, and you can't make your rent due because, your paycheck is basically behind a little bit. And who's going to wait for that, right? But right now, times are even worse. So I do think I need to make some videos about Expedite and kind of like explain how to survive in this type of environment right now, because guys, it's really tough right now. I've been talking to some of my friends that's doing this, and they're on the brink of just, should I say bankruptcy? But let's say this, they can't pay their insurance, they can't pay their rent payment, they're barely making their house payment, and there's just barely any work. So they could be losing everything, and it's just the bottom line. And it's not their fault, and it's because the economy kind of tanked, and we have this corona thing going on, which isn't helping the situation, just making it worse. And now we got the riots going on. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And this is why I'm making this video, guys, because I'm so much more than just a sprinter repair guy. I'm somebody that wants to get out there and motivate you guys and help you guys get through those tough times, because guys, I've been there. And still, sometimes I feel that I'm still there. But back in 2008, when the economy crashed, I could not make my payments on the van. So I know exactly how it is. So after the 2009, that's it. I was like, I lost my van basically after 2009 because, you know, that was like 2010 now, and my van got repoed. And I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. It is completely normal. So a lot of people, they like rise and fall. And there's like many millionaires. They became like really, really asset rich, cash poor. Then they lost everything because they were really like, you know, stretched out on their budget and, you know, owing so much money all over the place. And before you know, it's like, you know, economy tanks, nobody's paying you, so you can't really, you know, pay for your stuff. Then you end up losing it. So a lot of people did that, and one of them is Dave Ramsey. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard of his show. I used to listen to his show like all the time, but I really don't do much driving anymore, so I really don't listen to the, you know, show. But he's on YouTube now, and you could, you know, watch him and stuff like that. But back in 2009, I remember I was like really, really stuck. Like I had $500 left, and I made my last, well, not my last, I used my last money to make a last payment, not a last payment, excuse me, I can't really get my words straight, but a sprinter payment. So I chose to make a sprinter payment, which should have been $800 with $500, because that was the last money I had in my pocket. And when I did that, I didn't have any money left over at all for insurance or for fuel, and I really didn't know like how I was gonna make it. But that was like January 2009. Was like that $500 right there. But in 2008, that's when the downfall started happening. I noticed the trend, and I started contacting the Chrysler Financial. I'm like, listen, guys, it's looking pretty bad. Like down the road, I'm not gonna be able to make any payments. And they were like, you know what? It's okay. It's no problem. Just call us back whenever, you know, things improve. Well, I keeping in contact with them, and 3 months later, when I didn't pay my payments in 2009. They said, oh, just give us the van back. And I'm like, guys, I want to pay you. I just can't because there's like no work. You know, things are starting to improve, but it was actually really bad. But guys, I think things are even worse right now than they were. But this is the kind of stuff I talked about last year. This was coming. I said this last year that is coming because I listen to a lot of smart people, you know, and I tried to basically put it all into my head, and then I make it cook in here a little bit, you know, and then here comes a pie of information, and I kind of put the two and two together. I'm like, you know what? This year's not going to be looking good. And I couldn't, of course, predict what's going to happen, but I kind of thought that stock market's going to fall, the real estate market's going to drop, and a lot of stuff is going to really think. But you know what, guys? It's not all bad. You know, it seems really bad. And this is like another point why I'm making this video. Back in 2009, I could not even afford my rent anymore, okay? Like, I was, like, sitting in that Sprinter van with my wife. We didn't have any kids at the time, thank God. And we were, like, eating Roman noodle soup, like, out of those, you know, like, regular cups. I love those soups, by the way. Love them still. My kids love them right now. But that's all I could afford. It was, like, 25 cents a piece at a time. And I'm like, I'm telling her, I'm like, look, honey, this is all I could afford right now, you know? And I'm thinking, this is my second year of marriage. She's probably going to really dump me, you know what I mean? Who's gonna want to live with a guy like that, like a loser, you know? And that's how I felt. And some of my friends were trying to tell me the same thing, that, you know, hinting on the part that I'm a loser and I should just really get a better job, you know? But I'm a little bit stubborn, you know, and I'm a little bit ambitious, and I kind of thought, you know, I'm gonna go through this and I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna make it. But guys, I didn't have anything. That's all I had. I had that van that I was making payments on, which I couldn't make payments on anymore, and no place to live anymore. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even have like any blankets with me or any pillows or anything comfortable to sleep on. It was actually really, really bad, you know, to be honest with you. Like, it was really bad. And we didn't have any work and no way of really continuing. It was really bad, okay? So I know this is going to be the downfall for a lot of you guys right now, the same thing. But I don't want to like, you know, bathe in the negative. I don't know the proper word, but, you know, let's just use this one, right? Let's just like not focus on that negativity, because here it is, 2020, right? Everything's going on bad, and I'm buying cars left and right. I'm buying engines. I have 17 cars now, acre and a half of land, and my roof just leaked. I'm in my garage, actually. This garage roof always leaked. But anyways, you know, why am I here? Okay, why am I in this situation? Sure, it's not the best situation in the world, but it's not the worst either, you know? I told myself in 2009, I never want this to happen to me again, you know? And I was just like sitting to my wife, you know, like with my wife, and I'm like, you know, let's listen to this Dave Ramsey guy. My mom, I think she like bought like his courses or whatever, and she gave me the book and she gave me the CD and like some software, and I'm like, you know what, we didn't have nothing else to do. I popped that CD in there, and we just listened to that book like straight. I think it's like a 7-hour book. I can't remember now, but now I own an audiobook version of it, and I've listened to it like maybe like 4 or 5 times since then. And now I don't even see like what was I you know, seeing in there that I wasn't before. It just seems common sense now. But back then it was like an eye opener. I'm like, what? These people lived on a, you know, like in an attic, and they were both making $50,000 a year, and they were like, you know, making payments, and after all that, they saved up like $50,000, you know, like in a single year of like, you know, between the two of them. And 3 years later, they bought a home for $150,000 for cash. And I'm like, you know, at the time, I kind of thought like, wow, you know, 50,000. Of course, you know, they were making really good money, but an Expedite, you know, we're making like $70,000 a year when it's a good year, you know. But it's like gross. It's obviously when you do the deductions, before you know it, you're making like 25, 30,000. You're lucky if you're making that. So that's just the honest truth, and I really want to do some calculations for you guys. But you know, hopefully in the later videos. But that's not the point right now. Like the point right now, like where we at right now, I definitely want to talk about this because man, I feel that I have to raise some of you guys' spirits right now because some of you guys not doing that well. You're probably not talking about it, but you're just not doing well, and I know it because man, everybody's struggling right now, but I'm not because I steered clear of this situation, and I knew I'm not gonna be able to put away $50,000 a year, you know, with Expedite, especially then when I was like barely even working, like actually wasn't working at that time when I was listening to the CD. But man, I was like so broke. I didn't want to tell my parents, and my parents were living in Ballantine, $500,000 house, and living it up, plenty of rooms, 5 bedrooms, you know, like in a house or more. I think like five like legal bedrooms, but there's like so many more bedrooms in there. Um, and I technically had a room if I wanted to come back, and my, you know, I didn't want to say nothing, but somehow my parents found out. They're like, you know, come live with us, you know. But we're like, no, we want to like live on our own, you know. It was difficult, but let's not, I guess, go there, right? So anyways, I've made plans, and I'm like, you know what, if I could make money again, I'm going to put away some money, and I'm going to save that money. I don't care if it takes me 2 3 years, 5 years, I don't care, but I'm going to take advantage of this economy tanking, and these housing market is really like just going in the gutter, and find me something. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's in the country. You know, if it's like an hour drive from the city, like where I lived in Charlotte. So I'm an hour away now, which that's actually exactly what happens. It's kind of like, it's true. Like you make your plans and they come true. That's how it's always been for me. Like I made these plans, they came exactly true, and I always envisioned this situation, and I was kind of thinking small. Because I didn't imagine any big house, you know. That's why I have like a 900 square foot house, you know, like nothing major, you know. But what I cared about is just getting something, you know, just grabbing it, and that's what I did. So I went and I basically worked really hard and skipped basically the whole, you know, situation. You know, back in 2013, I was like still living in apartments, and 14, and then 15, I bought, you know, this place, and it really needed a lot of work, but I didn't care because Dave Ramsey said, you know, if your friends are like making fun of you, they're wrong, and listen to only people that, you know, really did this kind of stuff, and if they're not making fun of you, you're doing something wrong because you should be technically buying a smelly place, ugly place, you know, that kind of thing. I don't even know if he said all those things, but I've read a lot of books, and that's pretty much how all of the real estate investors think. So if it's like the house is like, you know, really needs a lot of work, and it's like smelly, it's got a lot of damage and stuff in it, they could really get it for bottom dollar. So they love it because who's gonna want to buy that? Banks are not gonna finance that kind of stuff. So you definitely need cash. So with this place here, it was listed for 26,000 like 800 or something, if I remember correctly. And guys, it was nothing like major. I didn't even use Zillow at the time. Like now you could just find this stuff on Zillow, but at the time, me and my wife, we saved up just a little bit. We had $10,000. We saved up a little bit. in, I think it was like 2015, yeah, like right around May. And I'm like, you know what, honey, let's buy a house, you know, $10,000. We're rich now. So we found a couple lands, like little lots for $8,000 a piece. So there's like, obviously, it's like, what are we gonna do with that, you know? And they were not in like the best of locations either, and it's just kind of like woods and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't even know like what you could really do there. But we found, actually my wife found, like she was just like flipping through the magazine. It was like a magazine, like, you know, like from those free magazines, where they list a bunch of land in there, a bunch of houses and stuff. So whatever you want to buy, just pick one up over there, because, you know, they're gonna have listings there. So it was kind of like an old school. I had a magazine, she had one. We looked through it, we didn't see nothing. But then my wife decided to take a second look, and she's like, oh, look at this place. And I'd probably seen it, but I'm like, she's not gonna want to live in that, so I didn't even consider it. But she looked at it, she's like, I'm like, really, honey? This place? You would live here? I'm like, that looks like a trailer. And it's a single wide, I guess, or manufactured home, however you call it, but still pretty much people's gonna call it a trailer. And she's like, yeah, you know, I'm okay with it. I'm like, really? You know, you sure? You know, I'm like, okay, let's call the real estate agent. So I decided to call the listing real estate agent, and I called him up and I set up an appointment. So he showed me the place, and I said, this place really needs a lot of work. And I told him, I said, you know what, you know, you're the listing agent for this real estate, you know, home, it's like for this property. For the bank, it was a bank foreclosure. I said, how do you feel about negotiating on my behalf, you know, for this property? He said, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm like, I know this place is listed like for 26, but I feel that it's more like 10, you know, because I only had 10,000. And in order to bid, you had to have 10,000 in escrow. So that's like, you know, 10,000. I had like no choice. So I said, you know what, let's start at 10. He's like, well, you're going to have to put 10,000 in escrow, you know, so that's what I did. But it took a while for the bank to get back to me. So, man, good thing there was loads. Man, I was just hustling. Like, I was just, like, working back and forth. But still, though, I had lots of bills, too. Like, I was paying bills and this and that and the other thing. And I barely scraped together $13,000. And that's what the bank basically wanted. So, with closing and everything, I paid $13,000 or close to 14. You know, I can't remember anymore. Like, no, it's 30,000. So it was like 12. I won it for 12 and a half, and with closing, it ended up being 30,000. So I was like really, really lucky about that. And I know, guys, you probably didn't think I'm gonna be going there, but man, like, don't you want me to go here? Because, like, I think it's the appropriate time right now, like better than ever. Because right now, I know, like, lots of people are looking for an opportunity to way out, and I just want to share my experience. And this video is not going to make me that much money anyways, so it's not like financially like beneficial to me at all. It's probably going to make like $1, and I'm going to spend like probably more money than that talking, because I could have been doing something else. But I really care, really truly passionately, I care about helping people, you know, just giving them that idea so that they could actually focus on something, because everybody's financial situation is different. And, you know, somebody probably thinks, you know, 10,000 is like, wow, it's like nothing. Maybe like more like 100,000. It's like very little for them. But you know what? A lot of viewers that watch me, you're just like me. You're somebody that just wants to get started. And I have some viewers that watch me. They're actually millionaires, and I became friends with a few of them, and really cool people. It's like they're down to earth. They feel like they're just like you. So, and I guess like-minded people watch my channel. So I guess that's why we're all like-minded and stuff, which is really, really awesome. But they share their own ideas too, and I have a lot of my own. And turns out I actually have a lot of good ideas. I don't want to really, like, you know, rub my own head on this or whatever, how you call it. Like, I don't know. But basically, I am really entrepreneurial, like, and I really think up a lot of ways how to make money and stuff. When the money is like in a pinch and you're just like in a crunch to try to get everything paid and stuff. I'm a survivor. I'll just think of anything and I'll just go with it and I'll figure it out. That's just how I am. I'm a problem solver. Always have been. But whenever you don't have nothing, you don't achieve nothing, it's like you're thinking about all this stuff and you have like no opportunity. That's not doing any good. So for the longest time, I didn't even know if my ideas were any good. You know, I figured them out later when I actually put my ideas into action, and pretty much it worked. And I'm like, you know, it's actually working. It's kind of awesome. But But anyways, guys, I want you to have this idea in knowing that right now, man, it's tough, okay? But we're gonna get past that. This whole year is gonna be bad, and I don't know what to tell you, whether to stay an Expedite or not. If you're not an Expedite, I don't recommend getting in it. Just to make it like an example, about 50% of people that's an Expedite, and I don't know statistics of this, okay, just I guess don't take my word for it, maybe like research, I don't know, like by calling yourself to the insurance company, but most people are paying around $900 for commercial insurance, okay? And even though that's a lot less than some are paying, because some of them are paying $1,400 and $1,900, which is ridiculous. And I don't want to name the company, but you guys already know who they are, because I don't want to really mention them. It does not really matter who you get insurance from, okay? But the majority of people get insurance from that one company, and that's everybody, like what all the companies really want you to have, which I'm kind of thinking they must have got paid off somehow to request you to have that type of insurance. But it's very expensive. And when I was buying insurance from that same company back in 2008, I was paying $475 all in with 100,000 cargo and $1 million liability. So I thought that was expensive, okay? Because I went from paying car insurance about $50 a month to close to $500 a month, my own business. Pretty much 10 times more, you know? And now it's like they doubled and tripled and quadrupled in some cases for some people. Maybe it's the driving records, maybe it's the state and city where they live, because that's how they look at it too. They also look at the credit histories, because apparently if your credit history is bad, then you're not that reliable driver, you know, who's to say, but it's weird. I don't know why they even look at that like that, but that's how it is. There is some ways around it. I'm not going to mention those ways here because I don't want to get in trouble or get, you know, judged or whatever on that. Not that I care, but wrong people see it, they're going to think, you know, it's whatever. So I'm not going to really share that. But you need to find the cheapest rate possible for insurance if you're going to be getting into Expedite, because that's like almost like the most important thing. Because the price that they're asking is the price of Expediter vans. And, well, it could be Sprinter vans, it could be ProMasters, could be Ford Transits, whatever one you want to get into. The payment is still going to be expensive. It's going to be between $700 and $900 a month if you want to get into that. Right now, I don't recommend you getting a payment, okay? I just spoke to a friend today. This is a really good friend of mine. He lives in Oregon. And I just talked to him and he says, my situation is horrible. Somebody in the family contracted corona. So now the wife is out of work because she can't go to work because of that, and she got a good paying job, and she was basically handling her side of the things, and his expediting business is down. He paid 6 months in advance for his insurance, which is like $900 a month, and I recommended him against that. I said, listen, don't do it. Don't do it. He paid in advance because that's actually their like thing. Like they wanted money in advance. And I said, you know what? You're not going to be working the next 6 months like you thought. And I was right. Like for the past 2 months, he probably had a couple jobs. He probably was making like $150 or $300 a month for the Expedite. So you obviously know that didn't cover anything. So he's afraid he's going to be losing his van. He's going to be losing his whatever. Like they could even lose their house. You know, that's how bad it is. But when I met him, which was like a few years ago, things were pretty good, you know. And he was like really being positive. He just bought this van and he was like just really going at it like strong and just like pumped, like just trying to work. And he says, you know what, I'm going to pay this thing off in 6 months. But you know what, guys, I heard this thing many times. Many people told me they're going to pay something off in 6 months, and it just doesn't work like that. Because what people fail to realize, that the loads you're getting now, it's not going to be the same thing you're going to be getting next year, or maybe even half a year from now. And that's a problem, because you're paying a lot of money for staying in business and you're doing a lot of work, and you're miserable half of the time because you're sleeping in a van that's half of the time cold or hot. Probably worse when it's hot, because that's like the worst times to sleep in a van, because you're going to be all sweaty and you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know whether to get a hotel, but you can't because it's too expensive. And if you get a load, you're going to have to cancel that. They're not going to refund you, you know, and it's a whole thing like that. And the way that they're paying now, like, man, there was a couple that was sitting for like a week in Memphis, Tennessee. They needed to go back to Portland, Oregon. They could not even get a load for 50 cents. Can you believe that? They could not even get out. I'm against 65 cents per mile. These people cannot get a load for 50 cents, okay? It's really, really, really horrible. So they just quit right there on the spot. They had a company vehicle. They just parked it right there in the parking lot, and he says for the wife, just come get me. So she's actually a driver too, and she come and got him, and I guess they went home. But that's kind of bad. But anyways, I want to talk about so many things. Because my personality, guys, the way I am, I'm just all over the place. And that's just the way I am. Like that's how my personality. And this is probably why I enjoy making content. I enjoy talking to people. I'm just like an average Joe, you know. I don't think of myself of anybody that's like really cool and, you know, this and that, you know. But I enjoy helping. I enjoy sharing, you know. And I really enjoy giving advice. And of course, giving advice in a video like this, it is easy to do because it's kind of free, I guess. You know, it's free for me to speak. And once I make this video, there's not gonna be a lot of editing involved. I'm just gonna put it on YouTube. That way it is raw. I really don't like this kind of videos. I really don't edit them out because I don't want to be perfect. I don't care. I just want to be me. And if I make a mistake when I'm saying something, it's fine. But you guys already understand that I am trying to be helpful through here, you know, through these videos, and I definitely want to give some good, solid advice. But I do want to make some videos that's upcoming, talking to you guys just about certain situation that you're going to be faced with and how to transition and actually take the situation and give yourself an advantage. That way you could actually win. Because that's the way I like to do, you know. I like to be able to just win. So I'm always winning. And I hate to say it, like, because it sounds like I'm like trying to like brag or something. But this year, I've done more than I've done even like last year, financially. And this year, you know, people are struggling and I'm not. And I'm actually doing better than I was last year. As a matter of fact, guys, to be honest with you, last year, I was struggling, but you would never see that because I don't talk about my struggles. It's not that I'm trying to hide anything, but I don't like to spread the negativity. I like to be positive. So I had some strategies last year that also worked. I bought a lot of stuff. Guess what? Most of that stuff that I bought, I got my money back because that was jobs that I did for those companies. And I got something that I wanted. I gave an honest review of it because I liked it. There's no rule against, you know, like I could present it how I want to present it, like the unboxing videos. They actually made me money last year, and that they helped me, you know, get by because I was not making that much money. You know, I was only making money from YouTube, and I was making money from the unboxing videos. But you know what? I am kind of like, I want to just give, you know, to my channel. Just give. So this year I thought, you know what? It's this unboxing videos. They're probably not helping my audience that much. They're helping me. So I'm going to put a stop to that. But in the process, I lost myself because I like to do those videos. I really enjoy electronics. I just enjoy tinkering with stuff. And I kind of lost myself, and I kind of thought, you know what, maybe I'm going to do this stuff on this other channel that I created, unboxing channel. But truth to be told, I don't have time for all that. Like, I created like all these channels, and I don't have time to be all over the place and trying to grow these channels. I just want to have this one. You know, I have the others. This is my main one, and I just want to do everything that I do and do it here. And I want you guys to still know I am all about sprinters, and I'm about helping an Expedite. As a matter of fact, even though I don't need to get back into Expedite, I may get into Expedite in the future. I don't know if it's kind of like near future, but I may get in it just to feel out the market, just to like be the reporter and tell you guys, you know what, this is what's going on in the market. Here's what you should be doing, give you guys some advice, you know, maybe give you guys some advice how to get hired with some of these companies. I still get a lot of questions that come in my videos and people ask me about that. So I want to talk about that kind of stuff, guys. But anyways, guys, I hope you found this video somewhat helpful, and I really hope you will find it in your heart to subscribe to my free channel and to my information, and maybe give me a few words of encouragement in the comment section. What do you think about that, guys? Do you want me to make more videos like that? Please say yes, because I want to help you. You know, helping is free, and helping is the only thing we have left when we die. It's like when I die, I want to be able to have a channel that helps people. You know, I will not be able to profit from anymore, but boy, would it feel good if it's going to keep helping somebody. And including my kids. Like, my kids could watch this in the future and could say, you know what, my dad was all about helping people, and that's what I want them to see. But in the process, guys, I also got to pay my bills, you know, and that's why I have to do what I have to do to meet those ends. So I want to talk about those things in the next video. What am I doing right now to actually make money? How am I surviving? How am I buying all these cars that I'm buying, you know, and doing all these things? And I'm planning to build a shop this year, and it's probably going to happen. And even though it's a tough year, it's probably going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. So I want to talk about those things in the next video. Guys, take care of yourself. God bless you. Just know this. Things will get better, okay? They certainly will. And subscribe. I want to be there to help you. And to help you kind of like at least motivate you and give you guys some ideas that you could actually use right now in your situation. Because things that I'm doing right now can help anybody. And, you know, you can be basically doing what I'm doing because I'm going to tell you how to do it. And I don't mind sharing. So, thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourself and see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.